Today's gospel reading is one of 4 accounts of Jesus appearing to the disciples and others after his resurrection. I wonder what that must have been like. Jesus wasn't sanitized. He still had the wounds in his hands, and the wound in his sides, and the wounds in his feet. They were probably red and ugly, those scars. Maybe a little bit, mine is nothing like that, but I have a little scar that happened from something that happened on Monday. That was kind of a resurrection experience for me because my neighbors came out and helped me not to bleed and got me ready to go to the ER. I had an accident with my bike. So, I hope I don't freak anybody out. I think I have really bushy eyebrows. But that's what that's from. I didn't want you to be afraid when you came to the table today. But it is a sign of new life. And so today, in today's gospel, it is not so much that Peter needed to have proof of the resurrection. He felt left out. Mary had had her experience at the empty tomb, seeing Jesus. The rest of the disciples were in the right place at the right time, and they also saw Jesus, but Peter was left out. He needed his own experience with the risen Lord. It's not because he didn't believe. He just needed that experience. And when he saw Jesus, when he touched Jesus' hands and side, he said, "My Lord and my God." He could not help but have that be his first response. Resurrection for us today, 2,000 some years after the resurrection of the body of Jesus, the person of Jesus, it seems that sometimes resurrection is something that we have to wait for until we die. But that's just not true. Resurrection is something that is here and to come. That we have all kinds of resurrections in our lives today. Or we yearn for all kinds of resurrections in our daily life. Think about that relationship in your life that is most troublesome. You have it in your mind's eye and in your heart. There is hope for newness and forgiveness and life in that relationship. Don't give up. The power of the resurrection is real for us. For folks who struggle with addiction, who cannot help themselves, and those who love them, there is hope for resurrection and new life, a new beginning. For families that struggle to get along, for families that struggle to put food on the table, for synagogues and mosques and churches mourning the death of their dear ones to violence. There is hope for resurrection, but it's hard to believe, isn't it? Just in Sacramento or San Diego, I can't remember, yesterday morning, there was an active shooter in the synagogue. We have such pain in our world, such fear and perhaps mental illness that pushes us to do things that hurt ourselves and hurt others. God wants resurrection for that. God wants to heal us and to make us whole. God is present in our confirmation classes, in our faith formation for young ones and for our older folks. There's even resurrection under the snow there. The flowers are still there. I think my rhubarb will survive. But who could guess we'd get snow at the end of April? We hope for resurrection too when we think that, when we remember, we're reminded that snow is a result of global climate change. And each of us has a part in bringing our world to wholeness and to caring for creation. This week, as I was talking to my husband in one of our regular morning devotional times, we're reading a lectionary, Bryce Common lectionary for the day that kind of circles around the text for the week. And so he was telling me that he had a Bible study on Wednesday and had this gospel reading as the text. And so then all kinds of stories of people experiencing visits from folks who have died. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you might be asleep in bed and you wake up and there's something there. Is that, I feel like I'm saying something to folks who don't want to hear what I'm saying. Is that familiar to you? Have you heard stories like that? Okay, I'm going to tell you a story that came out in that Bible study. And then there were more and more stories. And I think we hear stories like this to build us up, to build our faith up, so that we might believe that there is something more, and that God is present to us every day. So, a woman, maybe she was probably, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how old she was, that doesn't matter, but she lost her brother. Her brother died. And her daughter, I don't know how old she was, but her daughter came to her soon after the funeral and said, Mom, Henry came to me. It wasn't a dream. And this is what he said. This is the first thing he said. It is more wonderful here than we've imagined. And then he went on to list a number of things, very specific things that she remembered. Michael didn't tell me, so he told me that first thing. So, we hear of those kind of experiences and we think, oh, okay, crazy? I don't know. We're not sure what to do with them. So this woman, time had gone on, and it was getting to be the anniversary of her brother's death. And she reached out to her sister-in-law, but not before she agonized. Do I tell her this? Do I not? Do I tell her this or do I not? Will this make it worse for her, or will it be a comfort? And finally she just decided, I gotta tell her about my daughter's experience. So she told her, and she said that her brother had told her daughter, the widow's niece, this is more wonderful and amazing than we have imagined. And there was dead silence on the phone. And she thought, oh, what have I done? And finally her sister-in-law said, he came to me too. And that's what he said. And he said that exact same list of things. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? For everyone to be listening in that experience was important. It was important for the daughter, for the mom, to have created a safe space for her daughter to tell her mother about this wild experience that you can't explain. And for this mother and sister-in-law to be sensitive, to honor that story and take it for her daughter's truth, and then to have the courage to share it. And then for the widow, can you imagine what she may have needed to hear that? How are those two unrelated happenings? I mean, they didn't tell each other about it. And they were the same story. Oh my God. I have goosebumps still then when I tell that. Have you heard of similar things? We don't talk about it very often because, if you think about it in our everyday sort of life, it sort of paints us as could paint us as sort of a crazy person. That's not the truth. That is not the truth. Can we explain it? No. Can we claim that it is God's work among us? For sure. Can we make it happen? No. We need to tell each other our stories. Take courage to do that, because in telling our faith story, our faith experiences, like Peter and the apostles and Mary, when we tell our stories, we never know how that's going to impact another person. But we do know that when we tell stories of faith, both for ourselves and for another person, faith is engendered and supported. And the idea is planted that there's something more. I'm not talking about, let's say I'm sitting down with Alex and saying, Alex, can you tell me, or I want to tell you a lot of scripture and I want to ask you if you're saved. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about sharing experiences of love and power and mystery and of God's greatness. I have to tell a story on Will, my neighbor. As last Monday I was riding my bike with my husband and we were getting close right at the intersection to my house. The perpendicular street that takes me down to the church. I didn't have a water bottle on my bike, and it's actually my daughter's bike, and it's a boy's bike. I really have never liked boys' bikes. But my son, had taken apart my woman's bike numbers of years ago, and it's not quite put it back together right. So I wanted to use a bike, so using my daughter's bike, and handing my water bottle back to my husband, and I lost my balance, and just face planted into the road. Thank God, helmets bring us life and save us. And I had my cocoon sunglasses, which protected my eyes and face from getting road rash and from glass breaking into my eye, all that sort of stuff. So I'm sitting there in the middle of the road, the street, and drip, 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 and Will calls out, "Are you okay? Are you all right? Can you tell my dad is on the fire department? He's the chief." So I said, yes, have him come over, and he was a resurrection to me, and Will was a resurrection to me. Will especially was listening to what was needed and made the connections. And then Jerry came over and he said, "You're going to need some stitches." I made a decision not to want to look at it, which was good. And then he said, "Let's get see if Angie's home." So she is a first responder. So she came out and, "Yeah, we're going to need some stitches," and then bandaged me up. And just the grace and love and the presence of God sitting there. I went up and sat, I think, on a kind of fence thing, but sitting there and being cared for with the love of God presence in those folks so powerfully, and especially Will. It's my resurrection from this week. What's yours? What's yours? Think about that. Wonder about that, and think about how you might receive resurrection from others and how you might share it. Because that is how God is made known to us in the world. Amen.